It is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. It is Tuesday, which of course we know is Monday's hangover. What do you want to talk about today? We could get into all kind of stuff. I think we'll take it at random. But first, I need to say hello to everybody out there while you're watching us here in the mothership, which is Studio 22, the Puppet Master Mark, the Perfectionist, and of course Super Mario Chris Cruz driving us into the nether regions of all things insanity. Here at BlazeTV, we have got all kind of crazy stuff going on, Chris. All kind of crazy. Apparently, everyone here is a sinner. You have to put the emphasis on that. They don't just sin. They're sinners. And everybody wants to know, Chad, why aren't you standing up to these sinners? People keep messaging me and demanding that I condemn Blaze TV hosts for their actions, saying, you don't condone something. That's saying that is not enough. They must be condemned. Well, I'm the guy to do it. I'm the guy that's going to screw down his cowboy hat, call down fire and brimstone. Yes! I condemn Dave Rubin for adopting a baby. I condemn Glenn Beck for being a Mormon. I condemn Pat Gray for being grumpy. I condemn Steve Deace for knowing he's smarter than all of us. I condemn Steven Crowder for being from Canada. I condemn Jason Whitlock for his... I condemn Sarah Gonzalez for her vanity and Stu Burgier for the same damn reason. I condemn Jeff Fisher for being Jeff Fisher. I'm sure I'm leaving someone out, but I condemn them too. I hereby condemn them to the 9 circles of Dante's Inferno. I am the only perfect and humble host on the Blaze Network. I walk on water, Chris. And I condemn them. Chris, I condemn you too. Because I can. I'm the only one who can. I want to make sure everybody knows, no matter what happens with a Blaze TV host, people keep sending me messages saying, what in the world's going on over the Blaze? I don't know. I come in here and I sit down and I start talking. Their shit ain't my business. Well, there it is. I condemn me for cussing. Oh, well. There it is, folks. Can we go back? Chris, you gave me some clips. I want to play that Texas mayor. You got that clip handy? We got a problem here in Texas, folks. Just because I'm not running for governor anymore doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean I'm not. I made some lofty campaign promises, and I still intend to act on a lot of them. I can't do it legislatively because you didn't elect me. You did not elect me. But I am in this process, folks, and I am here to hold these elected officials' feet to the fire because we got a problem. And I love the state of Texas. I love the state of Texas. All the miles I travel, I never get tired of a single one. Now, granted, while I'm driving, I'm usually looking down at my phone. But that's another story. Play that clip.
News came as a shock for the city of Carrizo Spring and Dimmitt County leaders.
What we were told is they got a call in the morning yesterday.
Who is they?
The Border Patrol from the federal government, that start releasing immigrants into the city of Carrizo Springs.
Soon, undocumented immigrants without criminal history will be released in the city of Carrizo Springs.
Like he said, agent in charge again, could be 10. Could be 50, could be 150.
However, city officials admit they're not prepared and have reached out to the city of Uvalde on how they handle the release of migrants.
We're starting from scratch, literally. And then, of course, in the border, you have, charities and churches that help these immigrants. And here, there's nothing at this point in place.
I want to know. I'm looking it up right now. Here's what I want to know. I want to know. I'm going to look it up at the break. I want to know if that mayor is Democrat or Republican. And I don't know. I want to look that up. I'm going to check out a little bit about the demographics of Carrizo Springs, Texas. But the point is still, they don't know how many illegals are about to be released into their community. Do we know anything about their vetting and any of that process, or why they're here, or why they're still allowed to be in the United States of America, or especially the state of Texas? Why are they here? Chris, do you know any of those illegals? I don't think you do. But that's okay, folks, because Joe Biden, he's on this whole thing. Play that little clip of how he compared the Ukrainian refugees.
The fact that you have so many Ukrainians seeking refuge in this country of Poland. We understand that because we have in our southern border thousands of people a day, literally, not figuratively, trying to get into the United States.
What? You mean to tell me that Joe Biden knows what's going on and still isn't doing a damn thing about it? Like, he knows what's happening at the southern border. There's thousands a day that are trying to come in. Apparently, ask Carrizo Springs, Texas. They're coming in. They're here. They're being released into your community. Joe Biden knows they're there. Not doing anything about it. Why the hell are you in Poland, Joe? Why are you in Poland? Why are you over there eating pizza, getting choked on a pepperoni? Why are you over there getting tears in your eyes from a jalapeno pepper? There's a jalapeno for us folks in Texas, Joe. You know, we learned that because all these folks that are coming across our southern border taught us how to say it, man. Joe knows. You got to laugh to keep from crying. Joe knows our problem, but he's making sure the Ukrainian border stays secure. We understand your plight because we got all these refugees. Refugees, no less. Refugees. People that have been incentivized to come to the United States with health care, welfare, housing, education. Oh, yeah, Joe. Federal government got it pumping wide open as he sits there and coughs on his pizza. You know what? Why'd that guy have to hand him that cup of water? Just let him choke on it. Now, I don't know if Joe Biden meant it the other day when he said that there has to be somebody's got to get Putin out of power. I don't know if he wanted a true regime change in Russia or he was just talking tough. You can refer to yesterday's monologue in the episode from Monday night. But I do know I want a regime change in America. I need a regime change right here in these so-called United States. Because this federal government is bullshit, and this administration is a hoax. It's a joke that's being played on a global scale. This guy right here that you see on your screen is a mutton-headed buffoon. He can't get a thought straight, much less a sentence out. And when he does say something, it's borderline a global atrocity. Please, for the love of God, feed this man more pizza with jalapenos and stop giving him any water. Let him choke on it. Sit there and watch the man asphyxiate because he's got a stranglehold on our country. He's destroying us. Him and that chucklehead that he's got as a vice president. You say that was a low blow. Exactly. That's what Kamala is, a low blower. Play it. Wait. Stop it. I got to get prepared before I see this bitch. All right? I got to get mentally prepared before I lay my eyes on this nasty piece of garbage human being. And I mean every word I'm saying. This is a garbage human being with a subpar intellect and an IQ of maybe 98. Maybe. All right, I'm ready to do it.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day.
We must together work together to see where we are headed, where we are going, and our vision for where we should be.
Because we have the ability to see what can be, unburdened by what has been.
Oh, yeah.
And then to make the possible actually happen. To see what is possible, to see what can be, unburdened by what has been, to reject the notion that the way things have always been has to be the way things will continue to be.
I have a motto. I eat and drink no for breakfast.
I eat no for breakfast. I eat no for breakfast. There is no vaccine for racism. The climate crisis represents an existential threat to who we are as a species. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, because the reality is that the life of a black person in America has never been treated as fully human. We have supposed leaders who are pushing science fiction instead of science fact. This virus, it has no eyes, and yet it knows exactly how we see each other and how we treat each other.
You guys are gonna see.
Wow.
You're gonna literally see the craters on the moon with your own eyes. Oh my goodness. With your own eyes, I'm telling you, it is gonna be unbelievable. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
This is why I drink tequila, because we're all going to just be northern Mexico pretty soon. That's a booster shot right there. I have to drink in order to deal with Chamala. I eat no for breakfast. I eat no for breakfast. I want to say so many things. Like, she never said no to Willie Brown. Yeah, she never said no to Montel Williams and his proposition of being a throuple. Are you sex shaming? No, I'm just ashamed of Kamala Harris. She's a moron. A moron. With an IQ of less than 100. She's an idiot. She's the reason why affirmative action is a bad idea. You don't appoint people for the reason she got appointed. And Joe. That's your border czar, Joe. She hasn't been to the southern border. You just admitted thousands are coming across every day. We know the plight. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we know the plight. Joe, you don't know shit because you've been in a basement in Delaware licking the windows with somebody giving you pudding at 10, 2, and 4 and making sure you're in bed by 7 o'clock after Jeopardy. Idiots. 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 But that's okay. Joe Biden's he's about to unveil the new billionaire minimum income tax. They're going to target billionaires because, God forbid, in America, you should be successful. Penalize the people that create the jobs. That's right. 20% minimum tax rate on all American households worth $100 million or more. Why, Joe? Why? You want deficit. You want debt. You want to continue to print money even though it has no value backing. Why are you going to tax them? What's their money worth? Joe, remember, he's a member of the World Economic Forum. You're supposed to own nothing and be happy, according to Air Leader Klaus Schwab. That's right. The plan comes amid signs that the administration's negotiation with Senator Joe Manchin over stalled White House economic proposal may be reviving. That's right. Billionaire minimum income tax. That's it. I don't want to be a billionaire anymore. I want to be a billionaire so bad. That's a fun song. Anyway, folks, I want to talk to you about this. The president's already warning us about food shortages. He said it last week they were coming. Seriously, are you prepared if a worst case scenario happens in the next few weeks or month? If not, put this show on pause. Stop what you're doing. Go to mypatriotsupply.com. You need to get some of that long-term emergency food storage that you may need very, very soon. Seriously. The most important thing you should focus on is food security. You've been thinking about it. Go do it. MyPatriotSupply.com. They are America's trusted name in preparedness and self-reliance. They've served millions of families and have 50,000 4-star and 5-star reviews. You can trust them. That's what I'm telling you. MyPatriotSupply.com is where you go. They got all different sizes of emergency food kits. Each kit provides breakfast, lunch, dinners, drinks, snacks. Got over 2,000 calories a day for optimal energy during stressful times. You're not going to get fat off of it, but that's not the point. You're going to live. You're going to survive. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com today. Get free shipping. The orders are flooding in. Trust me, when we had shortages a couple of years ago and I made an order, it took a little while for it to come in. So don't delay. Don't let crisis hit, folks. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com before things get any worse than they already are. Hear me. MyPatriotSupply.com. We'll be right back. Man, I've been making a lot of changes. We've made some business changes and stuff. Our new merch site is going to be coming up soon. But meanwhile, you can still go to watchchad.com for all the fun stuff is, because we got shows in the Woodlands April 29th. We've got I'm going to be in Naples, Florida. Off the Hook Comedy Club, going to do 2 shows in one night on May 25th. Then we're going to get busy starting in the summertime. June, of course, we're at Billy Bob's June 5th. We're going to be in Belton, Texas. We're going to be in San Angelo, Texas, Waco, Texas. We're going to be in Shawnee, Oklahoma, Fort Smith, Arkansas. We're going to be bouncing all over the place. So go to watchchad.com. While you're there, hit the store. But also go to chadonblaze.com and do some of that T-shirt shopping, you know what I'm talking about? Chadonblaze.com. We got some new designs coming out there. And all kind of fun stuff going on. And, of course, ChadPrather.com. So what we did is we've kind of, our politicalcowboy.com, we brought it down. Everything's migrated over to ChadPrather.com. And let's just face it, the censorship is horrible if you have the word political in the name of anything. So politicalcowboy.com, we've stopped adding articles there, but ChadPrather.com is loaded with some articles. And you need to be going to Blaze.com, Blaze Media. You need to be checking out their articles for news, but we have a little bit of fun with the news over at ChadPrather.com. So a little bit tongue-in-cheek, a little bit off color, and that's okay. I don't know. I don't want to get into that story just yet, but the Beau Biden, let's talk about this. This is random, right? I mean, we don't have a committee. We don't have a congressional committee to investigate the Hunter Biden laptop right now, who, by the way, remember, Hunter Biden is the smartest guy that Joe Biden's ever known. But the Beau Biden Foundation, you remember Beau Biden, of course, is the late son of President Joe Biden. They took in millions of dollars of donations in 2020, but they just spent a few thousand. So they spent less than $750,000 in 2020 on its purported mission, despite raking in nearly $4 million in donations the same year. I wonder if 10% went to the big guy. New York Post reported that the Delaware-based charity, which was started in honor of President Joe Biden's late son, received an infusion of $1.8 million from the Biden Foundation, started by Joe and Jill Biden, prior to that organization ending operations before Joe became president. Who gives to this shit? Right? Like, we raise money for, a tornado hit a town, or the wildfires in West Texas that just happened last week. We raise money for that. But, who builds these foundations and suddenly there's an infusion of $2 million into this thing? I don't get it. I mean, I'm being dead serious. I just ran for office. Nobody was donating $2 million to me. Maybe I'm not worth it. The Beau Biden Foundation also received more than $200,000 in charitable donations from entities that are tied to a top political donor of the president. What are they doing? What's going on here? Some nefarious actions going on behind the scenes, behind the curtain. Reportedly, they spent over $500,000 in 2020 towards its stated purpose of protecting children from abuse, according to tax filings. Now, I don't know if it rings weird with your brain, but when I start hearing anything connected with the Biden name and protecting children from abuse, a little bit of an alarm bell goes off in my head. The charity spent an almost equivalent amount that year in paying six-figure salaries of longtime Biden associates who hold executive-level jobs at the Beau Biden Foundation. That includes Patricia Day Lewis, who served as Delaware Deputy Attorney General during Beau Biden's tenure as the state of Delaware's Attorney General. Lewis currently runs a nonprofit and as of 2020 receives an annual salary of over $150,000. I could go on with many on that same list in the same way in their compensations. Hunter Biden, the middle-aged trouble child of the Biden family, also previously served on the board of the Beau Biden Foundation. Hallie Biden, with whom Hunter had a prolonged affair after the death of his brother, is the only member of the Biden family serving on the board. The board also features former FBI Director Louis Freeh on there. Yeah. You know, to get your high ratings, like, say, Charity Watchdog, if they're going to rate you as, you have to spend at least 75% or donate 75% of your annual budget on your charitable giving programs. That means the Beau Biden Foundation only dedicated 58% of its spending to its mission. That's not a real high level of financial efficiency for a charity. But then again, anything with the Biden name doesn't usually ring too efficient in my ears, once again. So, to be expected. Now, I know everybody's going to come say, well, what about Trump? What about Trump? What about Trump? What about Trump, actually? I don't think you can compare the two. I would like to see you try. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to where podcasts are offered, specifically iTunes, Apple Podcasts. I want you to leave a 5-star rating, and then you could tell us how much you hate Donald Trump. Right there. When you leave a review, tell us how much Donald Trump stole from his charities. Evil Trump, the orange man bad. Oh, my gosh. Did you guys see, and I retweeted it, the guy who identifies as a woman, such a trans woman, who tweeted, said, okay, I'm a trans woman who's experiencing her first period cramps, and what the F? I have literally never felt pain like this. Why do we let people live like this? Okay, so I retweeted that, and of course that person got ratioed like crazy. You need to go to the doctor, okay? More women need to be pissed off about this because this is another example of the objectification of women on the basis of their physical attributes. All right? You're not having your period or a menstrual cramp. You might have diverticulitis. You might have Crohn's disease. You might be having appendicitis. You might have had bad shellfish yesterday. But you're not having menstrual cramps. And the idea that you're going to continue to insult women with this type of nonsense. Now you say, Chad, why do you hate all of these trans people? I don't hate anyone. I already condemned all the BlazeTV hosts earlier in the show. But the trans people get a pass. They're just sweet little folks trying to be who God created them to be, whatever form or fashion that takes. Right? Wrong. They're trying to cram an ideology down your throat. They want to make sure that you have to buy into their new language, their new vocabulary, their new worldview, their new paradigm. And if you step out of line at any point in time, you are the one that's going to be held accountable with some things no less than fines or even jail time. So no, let's call it out while we still can. Get these people the help. Apparently this guy might have a Matchbox car shoved up his asshole and it's stuck, but he's not having menstrual cramps. And if you're on your period, dude, you need to check where the bleeding's coming from, because that's a problem. And I'm no biologist, but I can tell you, that's a problem. PMS and hormonal cramping is not the same as period uterine cramping. You are having cramps from all the hormones. Don't call it a damn period, because it is not. That was one of the tweet responses. Somebody said that's just constipation. If you're having cramps but you lack a uterus that contracts in order to help expel its lining, you should try this laxative. It works wonders. This person said, from shedding the lining of the uterus you don't have. Another said, I'm not trolling here. Please see an oncologist. If you were having that much pain in that region, then you cannot mess around. My first symptom of leukemia was this, and I went early enough that it saved my life. Please, I beg, see a doctor ASAP. Someone said, that is not biologically possible. Another person chimed in, what you are describing is the pain of IBS. It's not a period pain. You should really freak out if you started passing blood clots. You have no idea about the reality of menstruating. I do not want to have any idea about the idea of menstruating. God bless you ladies out there. Somebody said, well, Chad, can you define a woman? I sure can. It's an adult biological female that's capable of creating or producing eggs for the purpose of reproduction. There, I did it for you. And I'm not a biologist. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And I love you gals. I really do. I can't seem to ever live with any of you, but I do love you. That's my problem. But I'm telling you, stop appropriating another person's biological symptoms and situations and circumstances. This is ridiculous, folks. Why? Why, Chris? Why? Why? Next, people will be claiming to have alopecia. Alopecia Nation Unite. That's what Ariana Presley said. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Hey, if you're listed, buddy, I know you're sensitive about your hair loss, and I've got great news for you. Keeps has you covered. It's genius, actually. Keeps offers doctor-recommended, clinically proven, research-backed treatments to stop hair loss and improve hair growth. Keeps physicians will help you select the right products and treatments for your specific condition and your hair goals. All Keeps treatment plans are delivered straight to your door at about half the cost of a traditional pharmacy. Your plan comes with a full year of unlimited messaging, so you can connect with your doctor about anything, anytime. Now, with Keeps, you get quality expert care without visiting a doctor's office or pharmacy. Whether you're looking to prevent hair loss, stimulate hair growth, or just take better care of the hair you have, Keeps has got you covered. Hair loss stops with Keeps. Get 50% off your first order. Go to keeps.com/loss. That's KEEPS.com/loss. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Okay, folks, the clarion call of war has sounded. Elon Musk commented the other day on the state of Twitter, suggesting that as the de facto town square, it has failed to provide the requisite level of free speech in any kind of balanced fashion and should therefore possibly be replaced by a better system. The presumption, of course, is that either Musk would buy Twitter outright or else launch his own social media platform that would rival and one assumes eventually topple it. And as soon as this scintillating missive hit the eyeballs of his 17 million followers and everyone they shared it with, every dude bro who was ever too cool to play Dungeons and Dragons in high school but who listens to Joe Rogan podcasts for 4 hours at a stretch came screaming out of the woodwork, axes raised and half their faces painting blue as they yelled, "Freedom!" And it's hard not to sympathize, of course. Twitter is well known at this point for its habit of enshrining the free speech of people in the world who rank on the Joseph Stalin level of ethics and interpersonal courtesy, while at the same time making it a priority to get rid of the accounts of people who have the absolute balls to say that men have, well, balls. Musk got a whole massive storm of responses, most of them in the positive. So then the question is, will he attempt to buy out Twitter and rebrand it, or is this the parallel economy game? Now, I will say, if anyone was going to be able to pull that off, it would be Elon Musk. Now, I don't agree with everything the man says and does, of course not, and I think it's important for us to remember that he's not a conservative per se. He just holds some conservative views that can unite us, or maybe they're just common sense. And when it comes to the idea of a parallel parallel economy, that might be one of them. I mean, this guy's already planning to get a colony founded on Mars and join it. Sayonara, suckers. I'm on the first ship out. Maybe the second. We'll see if the first one crashes. I'm sure within our lifetimes, old boy's going to sit down in the newest version of a Tesla and just have SpaceX yeet him out past the moon. And I think yeet is what the teenagers still say. I don't know. Anyway, let's say that Musk does create a new form of Twitter. We're good for what? Maybe 5 years, maybe 10 before it all gets crappy and woke like the last one. So here's an idea. What if instead of doubling down on a social experiment that clearly didn't work and in fact did a whole lot to turn us into a bunch of tribalistic nitwits firing volleys in 280 character bursts at one another? What if instead we all went outdoors and got some sunshine? You know, a little vitamin D? What if we all took that age-old piece of advice and went and flew some kites? I like to fly kites a lot, and I can tell you that it's a million times better than being on Twitter or Musker or whatever we'd end up calling this same shit, different channel idea. Now, don't get me wrong. I'd love nothing more than to see Twitter go down in flames after the harm it's done in the world. I'm just not sure that rebranding it or even replacing it with something new is going to fix the problem, because the problem isn't what's on the screen. It's what's in the heart of the person typing. Even more than that, boy, it's what's in the head of the person typing. More specific still, it's usually what's not in the head of the person typing, which is namely a brain. And that is an insult worth tweeting. In fact, excuse me, I'm going to go tweet right now. And you know, that all goes the same. Guys, it goes the same for whether it's Truth Social or whatever echo chamber comes out. Every day, all day long, I keep getting notifications that someone new is following me on Truth Social, but I'm still 191,000 away from actually being able to use the platform. Let's check it today. Nope. Still not on it. I'm not a number, but I'm still a number. 191,463. So, I don't know. Guys, what if we just went back to using social media as a tool? You know, just communicating some stuff out there, throwing it out there, letting jokes be jokes, you know? Just let jokes be jokes. It doesn't have to be a political statement every damn time. And you know what? The thing about it, Chris, is every now and then I try to, like on Sundays especially, I try to put up something that I'm just feeling about myself, right? Like kind of a devotional thought, a motivational thought, inspirational thought. Like this is what I'm working on in my life. People still make it political. It's mind-blowing. But hey, maybe that's the world we're living in now. I don't know. I just don't know. Do you, God, do we even want to get into that? Can we get into what the CIA, the former CIA director, said about the Biden statement being an unforced error? You have that clip handy. Let me play it, please.
Mike, I want to ask you about President Biden's speech in which he said that Vladimir Putin cannot remain in power. He also framed this conflict as totalitarianism versus freedom. What did you make of those two remarks?
So I think his comment that Putin had to go was an unforced error. It strengthens Putin at home, makes it difficult for any domestic opposition to coalesce together. And no Russian citizen, none, wants to be told by the leader of Russia's main enemy about what their leadership can look like and not.
Okay, well, there's Michael Morrell, an unforced error. No Russian citizen wants to be told by a foreign leader what their, political leadership is supposed to look like. Can I just say to the Russian people right now that I want my leader to be changed? I don't want Joe Biden anymore. Could y'all take him? Here's the deal. Set up a little White House or a Delaware basement in Siberia somewhere, and they'll just ship him over there. And he'll never know. He'll never know. Like you could put him in like one of those Truman Show snow globes, and he'd never know he wasn't in the Beltway or in Delaware somewhere. Just put him out there. Oh, my God. Can we, just for a second, just for my shits and giggles, can we play that clip again? Just Biden looking so lonely, eating that pizza. Can we just put him, look at him. I love it. Just coughing on his pepperoni, choking on his jalapeno. I mean, shouldn't there be a lot of people sitting around him like clamoring to hear what the leader of the free world has to say? He looks like a little lost old man. Here's your little sippy cup of water there, Mr. President. Okay, thank you. I think I'm dying over here. Dude, let me tell you that story about when I wrapped a chain around my arm and took on corn pop. And the kids, they rubbed the hair down on my leg. They turned gold in the sun, blonde in the sun. 15 months of this president. Where are we going? What do we got here? I want to say this. Mark, Chris, you guys know me. You know I have a lot of fun. I say a lot of stuff. Half of it I mean. Most of it I feel very passionate about. Can I just tell you something very seriously? Get your life right with Jesus. All right? The way, the truth, and the life. John 14:6. Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, and I am the life. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We don't know. Listen, this world is in meltdown. And you know what? Whether it's a thermonuclear disaster or not, our lives are limited. Our times are limited. Folks, do me a favor. The Bible says in the book of Acts, whoever calls on the name of the Lord will be saved. And I'm telling you, I don't want to just be saved for eternity. I want to be saved right now. I want to have eternity in my soul and in my life experience. So get your life right with Jesus, okay? You do whatever you need to do. You can call me out. And if you got another alternative, go leave a 5-star rating and a review and tell me all about it. But I want you guys to hear me. Hear me. Get your life right. Because I'm telling you, we got some people running the country. Their lives are not right and their minds are not right. And we are being led by a spirit that is different from anything that you know to be common sense, to be holy, to be righteous, to be in any way a right way of thinking or living. Folks, we are off the grid and off the rails in a bad way. We'll be right back. All right, so how do I want to do this? I try to gauge my blood pressure. First of all, Los Angeles reported that Andy Murdoch will serve as a judge on the Sacramento County Superior Court after being appointed by Gavin Newsom to fill a vacancy left on the bench by a retiring judge. Now, that is Andy Murdoch is an openly transgender person. That's the first transgender person that's just been appointed to the bench in the state of California. So Murdoch is a biological male that obviously identifies as female. Now, I don't understand where's the lack of equality or inclusivity. You got it. You got it. But that's not enough, right? You got Rachel Levine, who's not only a cabinet member, but an admiral, named an admiral, who is also apparently one of the women of the year, according to USA Today. So I don't understand. What do you see? Somebody came at me the other day and they were mad because I was talking about a totally different issue. But again, we were talking on the News and Why It Matters about these folks who keep commenting and saying we want equality for gays. You know, the other night at the Oscars, Wanda Sykes comes out with Amy Schumer talking about, well, it's going to be gay night. Well, based on Will Smith's slap, that was pretty gay. And I made the point. I said, so Dave Rubin and his husband David, they're going to adopt babies. Where's the inequality? Where is the prejudice there? Where's the offense? They're getting to do it. It's not illegal for them to do it. So again, you're going to keep cramming this whole equality thing down our throats. Even Disney came out with a statement about the whole "Don't Say Gay" bill, saying that should have never passed. Well, it doesn't say "Don't Say Gay" in the whole thing, but they said this was the statement from Walt Disney, saying it should have never been signed. Our goal as a company is for the law to be repealed as the legislature started. This is Disney wanting you to be able to talk about sexual issues with kindergarten to third graders. This has nothing to do with gay or homosexuality. So again, where is the inequality? Where is the inequality? You don't believe it's being crammed down your throat? Watch this TikTok. Now, this is the culmination. This is the final celebration, right, of a gay pride week at a school, at a public school in what, Austin? Austin, Texas. Texas. That ain't San Francisco. That is not Los Angeles. That's Austin, Texas. Dancing around with your kids, your students. I want to know more about this. I want to know more about this right here. I want to know, were parents aware of this? Was this a voluntary thing? Why was it on school grounds? Why? Why are you doing anything to celebrate any form of sexuality on public education grounds, on a campus, on a school? This ain't a university. This is a public school campus. Why are we celebrating a man having sex with another man, or a woman having sex with another woman? Why? Why is there a need to have a gay pride party at a public school? Again, the agenda being crammed down your throat, whether it's appointing these transgender judicial activists. These aren't judges. These are judicial activists. They're being appointed because of their gender identification and their sexuality. That's why. Those are not qualifications. Nobody, Chris, has ever said, you know what, Chad? Nobody at the Blaze has ever said, we're going to give Chad a raise because he's got a giant dick. Nobody's ever said that. And they know I do. But nobody's ever said that. Nobody's ever said, based on Chad's sexual demeanor, Chad's sexual orientation, that man deserves a bronze sculpture out here in the Commons area at BlazeTV. Do you see how stupid that is, though? Do you see? That's the same thing. Why not? Why can't we celebrate the size of my dick? Come on. I get to celebrate a man doing doggy style with another man. I get to celebrate a man performing fellatio on another man. Let's talk about my penis. Oh, suddenly you're offended? Suddenly you're offended? Come on, America. Let's talk about my dick. We'll be right back. All right, folks, go to watchchad.com. It's where all the fun stuff is. And don't forget to get our overtime on Fridays throughout the weekend. You can watch anytime you want. Actually, if you go to blazetv.com/Chad and use promo code MORECHAD. So many things I want to say from the last segment. More Chad. It'll help you save some money there. Tomorrow we're going to get Humpty Hump on a Wednesday. I love you guys. God bless you. I hope you take care of yourselves. Seriously, we all, especially me, we need Jesus. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.